Very pleased today to be talking with two brothers who have been in the Moorish Temple of America for a number of years. To my right is Brother G Cook-Bey, and to my left is Brother I Cook-Bey. I will allow them to give you their titles and so on. I'd like to start out, though, by asking, first of all, to Brother G Cook-Bey, how did you happen to come into the Moorish Temple of America?
Well, I come into the Moorish Science Temple of America till one day my brother I Cook-Bey, I asked him concerning about this prophet, and he told me there's a man down there he's on State Street, was teaching at the time, said we are not colored people or Negroes. And he said, we are Asiatics. I said, that's so. Then I said, I go with you to the temple then, at 3603 Indiana Avenue. Then I go the first night, that during 1925, and I enter into the 3603 Indiana Avenue. Then I have a chance to see the prophet that I heard of him through my brother. When he come from the back part of the building, come to the front, we all officials, they stood up. And when I looked at him, I said, within myself, I said, I never seen a man look like this man before. And he was the prophet Joali. Then therefore, after that later, I come in, first night I came, I got my identification card. Then after that, I stayed a good while, then I got married. And therefore, then I lived on the second floor there, and he was on the first floor. And one night there, very short, the prophet came in. There was a sister named Sister Long Bay. She had a hemorrhage. She's bleeding from her mouth and her nose. And I worked with a brother Whitehead and his wife. We worked with her. And we couldn't do anything but putting scissors in her hair and put nails and so forth, matches and so forth. Yet, brother, he came up, looked, he went on about his business, come back. Then I watched his eyes. He was a man, he just looked at the sister to flat his eyes. That blood ceased to be. And the sister went on into a room, conscious of herself just like we are here today. Then after that, I was that holy prophet, and I come to be a Sheik. And I take that Sheik vow. After he did this great macro, and I saw this, I said, nobody can tell me this ain't Jesus. I said, never seen it. I said, I read of this in the biblical history of the European. He said, there was a woman that had initial blood for 7 years. That woman just touched his garment, and the virtue of him went out and healed this woman. He didn't ask the question who touched him at all. The woman was 7 years. She come to be a sound-willed woman. Then after that, I taken that vow, went on into the chamber, and come to be a Sheik. And I was the first Mufti in the United States. The prophet taking the black fez from his head and placed it on my head. And then he told me, he said, son, take the streets. All the rest of the ministers, the holiness people in the church, people ran them in. When he turned me loose, I was just like a lamb. I conquered every demon rose up against me. When I put them out of business, they left there, and then another one came up, talking to me, interrupted me by teaching in the street. And I reported to the prophet when I come in that night. Noble Dry said, son, you go ahead. You won't see him no more. You won't be bothering him. And that was all of that. Then I appreciate it very much. Then later years, we gone on to, he sent me out on the field. Then I left there doing that in 1929. And 25 I left and went on out on the field, stopped in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on to one of the head officials, Brother Bay. He was a governor at that time of Baltimore, I went to say, into Pittsburgh. And I stayed there a while. Then from that I went on into Baltimore, Maryland. During the 1925 and 28, I and my brother, with his help, the prophet sent him to me and Marie. Then we opened up the first temple on Sharp Street. We opened the temple there. Then we moved from Sharp Street over further to the west part of the town. Then my brother, he went into the east side, opened up the temple with the sister and I worked with him. And from that on, we established 2 temples there. And we had no more trouble. When I tarried there, during 1929, when there was a message came that the prophet had paid during 1929. Then that brother was in the paper today. He said, Brother Cook-Bey, he wrote me a letter, said, be in the temple. The prophet is passing through there. And I, Marie, was in the temple at that time. Then when we came in, about 12 o'clock, that's when the prophet passed through. All of them went out of the temple, except I and my wife, we was up on the second floor. We heard a mighty noise, singing, everything in.
Very interesting. I'm sure, I know it was to me, and I'm sure it will be to all who view this. Brother I. Cook-Bey, it sounds like you were the inspiration behind all of this.
Right.
Can you tell us how you happened to hear about the Moorish Temple of America?
I met as follows in 1925 here in Chicago on State Street, 33rd and State. And some of his followers was out on the street teaching. Telling our people we are not Negroes, black, colored folk, and Ethiopians. And said, Allah have blessed us and sent us a holy prophet to teach us our national and divine creed. And so he's now at 3603 in Allen Avenue, the holy prophet. And they told me, said, now when this meeting over, you all who want to come see him, come with us. And you'll see Jesus, who you've been wanting to see. And I said, I sure want to see Jesus. I'm going with him. So I went on with him at 3603 in Atlanta, and we had the meeting. And 9:30, the prophet came out. And he raised up 10 fingers and sat down. I looked at him. I said, I never seen a man like him before. And so I stayed there in the meeting that night, and I heard the teaching. And he told us, said, children, I'm the prophet that the Father sent me. He said, Brother Marcus Gallo, my forerunner, and he warned y'all and told your pattern meet the coming prophet. Said, I'm he. And so I was perfectly satisfied when I heard the teaching that night. And the next night I came back, I got my card. It was 1925. And so 1928, as my brother said, he was in Baltimore. The prophet said, son, I want you to go to Baltimore and help your brother. And so as soon as you all get a good core of members, I will come out and set you aside, give you a charter, and you will have a charter temple, and you can begin to sound the trumpet and wake up our people. So I took him at his word. I went, left in April 1928, and went to Baltimore. And so we stayed there 3 years and 9 months. And we set aside 2 temples there in Baltimore. I was on the east side, my brother was on the south side. He had temple number 13, I had temple 22. So I got started with one family, went in their home, the whole family joined.
Wow.
My secretary, the chairman, treasurer, everyone, they all fell in. And so we were off there and we set up 2 nice temples there, and we stirred that city, Baltimore. And so they carried on until the conflict come up. And so we have some members here now from Baltimore. They're going to continue on, and they're going to reset the temple and going to start it back up. And they'll come to be members here in the Grand Body here in Chicago.
Neither one of you long to realize that Prophet Noble Ali was a divine prophet.
That's right.
What kinds of predictions did he make? And if I'm not using the correct word, please correct me, but what kinds of things did he say would happen that in your life so far you've seen happen?
Well, he told us, says, if these people repent and reform, he said this would be one of the greatest prosperous government on the face of the earth. He said, but if you fail to repent, the worst is yet to come upon them. He says, earthquake, disease, plague, famine, everything gonna come upon you. So today we see destruction out through the entire world. Great wind, tornado, windstorm. And there is no peace among the nation of the earth. While the Holy Prophet, he told us, I'm a universe prophet for all nations. Said, I'm a universe prophet, children. Said, I didn't come to stay right here with y'all. He said, I got to go. I'm needed. And in Africa and Europe and all over. And so he told us that if you don't believe I'm a true prophet, watch my prophesy. He said, you will see that come to pass what I prophesy. Me for the very work's sake, have anyone ever come and brought y'all what I brought you? He said, I got what you need and giving you what you need. He told us that nationality is the foundation of mankind. It's about a nationality and descent you ain't recognized by the government in which you live in the nation of the earth. And so I appeal to you, come. I come for the little children around your knees, the unborn generation. Say, I, the prophet, come from. And he said, the day will come. You will be able to teach your children and prepare them. They'll come up knowing themselves, know their nationality and descent. And said, the greatest sin it is upon you that you turn away from your creed, from your forefather. He said, there was mold. And so no one can change man from the sin and nature of his forefather. Use his power to stand beyond the great universe creator, Allah himself. So y'all are mold, say the seed of your ancient forefather. And he's told us that what your ancient forefather was, you are today without contradiction. There is no one that is able to change man from the sin and nature of his forefather. Use his power to stand beyond the great universe creator, Allah himself. And so you can't unchange a man, you can call him whatever you will or may. And say, when they brought our forefathers here, they was mold, warning, this is what I'm putting on y'all, fez and turban. And so they landed them there in Jamestown, Virginia, put them on the block and sold them, made slaves out of them. And he said, now, I have come for your freedom. He said, I have any seat to the United States government, to the head official. And everything I went for, I got it. And said, they give it to me. That's right. He told us that.
To me, all of the information that these beautiful brothers are giving to us, and I'm sure that other young brothers and sisters across the nation would also enjoy sharing ideas with you. What kinds of suggestions would you make, or what kinds of advice would you give to a young brother or sister in the Moorish Temple of America now?
What I advise them to come, first thing, take out your identification card from the Moorish Science Temple #1, if it's necessary. So therefore, then you must attend your meeting and be a faithful member in this society. Then I go on to say this about the Prophet Noble Drawley. One evening about 5 o'clock, I was going to the east side in Baltimore to temple on the east side. There was a bird filled the trees, singing the beautiful song, till it stirred my very curiosity. There's a little bird sparrow I had on my sheet bag, like I have on now, came out of the tree and light right down on my sheet bag with a little claw fastened in it. Then I tossed him here and went back into the sky, up in the trees. Then that coming day, I got a letter from Brother Melil informing me that the prophet had passed. That was the great warning I got. That was a letter through the little bird. Give me an idea what was expecting to come. And that next day I got a letter. The prophet passed. When he passed, I felt the vibration. Shook me up. And I didn't know. I said, what are we going to do now? But I had a thought about it, what he said then. See, I didn't come for you only. in America say, I'm a universe prophet. Said those sisters in India now say they're jumping this high now, looking for the prophet. And just like he said he be here talking to us. Said when I'm talking to you, I'm far away. I'm in India at the time with a mighty thought. Then that touched me. That touched my heart. When I heard him speak such a word as that, I grasped it. Reason I believe he was a true divine prophet. He performed miracles that no other man that I have never seen perform in my lifetime. And I believe he was a true and divine prophet. He said plain English, you don't believe I'm the true prophet? Watch my prophesy. He prophesied these things that come what we are in today. All we got to do, prove faithful. Hold fast to his fidelity. Let no man take it away from you. Stand up on that, your indignance. Stand on the square, that 45 degrees. Now I go on to say, the Holy Prophet talked to me natural, plainly. Some brothers say you can't look the prophet in the eye, and the prophet said face to face, talking to one another on what the event we are in today. He said, look at me, good, in the official meeting. Said, look at me. Say, will you know me? Said, many of them come and say, I am the prophet. See, I want you to look at me. We checked him. I looked at him and all the rest of them. He said, many of them come and say, I am the prophet, the resurrecting prophet. They coming up now and said, one said the prophet reincarnated spirit come back in him, which was one of the drivers expressed such a gratitude for the public, giving you. He was a Sheik, went through the Sheik board, same as I and my brother. And therefore I would say today, there's many prophets there in Baltimore now. Said they are the prophets. One say I'm allied. If that's common sense, you and I are allied. Just teach you and I say, man, we as a seed came right from the heart of Allah. The heart of Allah. And therefore, Allah is a thought, and man is a thought. Man is an ought, Allah is an ought. Allah and man are one. Turn it to my brother.
Okay, thank you very much. Brother Issac Cook-Bey, just quickly, because we don't have very much time left, if you could tell us what kinds of things you see coming in the future for the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Well, this is the principle for our people. The Moorish Science Temple is their salvation. The thing we need is principle. Our people, they are the master of science, are very intelligent people. One thing they are liking for, their name and their nationality and descent, their own creating principle. Prophet said without a name, you're not recognized by no nation. I found that out to be true. So the Holy Prophet did a great work here. He laid the foundation for us. And he said, now I'm laying the foundation, you all build on it. So I'm the one laying the foundation. And so I see him did great miracle. He demonstrated what we call a drummer day. He had him that he do a magician work, put him in the rope, and said, now I want the exotic brother Tommy, not one of the members. And they tied him good in hand, and I mean hog fashion. And he said, now I'll get loose and get up and get out of the chair, and none of you got to help me. Just drop a white sheet over me. And that's what they did. And so we see.
Okay, well, we've been talking with Brother Issac Cook-Bey and Brother G Cook-Bey, and we thank them very much for sharing their views with us today. And on behalf of the Moorish Educational Film Series, this is Sister S. Weaver-Bey. Peace.
Thank you.